What up, everybody? Welcome back to Pro Publications YouTube channel. As always, it's me, Rich, and today I got one last video about almost normal comics. So what can I say? I fucking love almost normal comics. It's what I like about them. Well, to begin with, they kept that continuous theme of like bizarre and strange and kind of over the top gore horror, and I loved it. Like, it was like reading B movies but in a comic book format, and I'm all about that. Like, I love that style. What I definitely liked a lot about almost normal comics, especially the ones that I just read, was that some of it was based on actual facts, and it was their interpretations of it or the way they thought it would play out. Like, one of the mini comics, it was called The Little Book of Oddities, was about every page was different stories, and it was all factual about this weird ass shit that happens in life, which is amazing because, like, I love science fiction, and the best science fiction to me is actual science. Like, I actually stop and read books on astrophysics and like and the way they see time traveling actually occurring and things like that. Same thing like terraforming. Terraforming was a concept that actual scientists developed, and then they put it in the movies like in Aliens and so on and so forth. So, like, you know, the best horror actually comes from reality, from the actual shit that has occurred that we cannot explain. Like that, and so, like, I love that, and I love tall tales and short stories, which is basically the actual facts of dwarf wrestling. And like, I like that. I enjoy that a lot. Like, I like that context, that texture of reality, you know. And reality sometimes is so strange, and it's so absurd. And so, like, that's one of the things I love about almost normal comics, is that they implement that into their story narratives, you know, like Tales from the Teller's Tombs and things like that. Like, these things are so strange, but they're the actual facts, you know. And that's what's amazing. You know. And then one of the other comics that I read recently from almost normal comics, it was different stories, like the hand story. And I don't know if this is true, but they mention it in the Little Book of Oddities, so it must be based on facts about how once upon a time people would steal the hand of thieves or people that were deceased, and that would ultimately help them get away with burglaries. And, you know, they did their interpretation of that story, but it's still rooted in facts. And I think that is so bizarre and so strange, and so you know, gothic and morbid, but it's rooted in actual shit that people have done. And I think that that's what almost normal comics does so amazing. And it's one of those companies that, if there's ever a time to pick up a book from almost normal comics, is definitely in October. It's definitely during the Halloween season. And from everything that I've gotten, and I love almost normal comics and all the oddities and everything, but the Little Book of Oddities is by far my favorite from everything that I got from almost normal comics. Another thing that I really enjoyed about the package that they sent me were the way they did the mini zines. I thought this was very clever, and let me show you real quick. So you see, it's also a poster and it's also a mini comic, and that's one of those ideas. Like, a lot of times when I'm reading these zines, like I keep telling y'all, like, I love filming and editing and all that good stuff, but I also love, you know, this kind of stuff is fuel for me of like, why don't you do something like that? And then I stop and I go and I create my version of whatever the hell, you know. Alright, you guys, that's all I got for you guys. Until next time, keep creating.